Coach?
Yeah, it's always difficult to get the first one done, especially when you got a long layoff like we had. And then on top of it, DeMarion hadn't played the last 3 games of the season on top of it. So we had some rust to shake off. Gardner-Webb was ready. They were physical, probably more physical than they were the first 2 times we played them. That bothered us a little bit. We weren't terribly sound with the basketball, but I was pleased with our guys finding a way. I thought our bench in the first half was tremendous. And then Lay came in, gave us some really good minutes and some energy. Terry, who's sitting to my left, obviously did the same. Was really physical, was sound defensively, and just made enough good plays that Keza kind of let us in when it mattered.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take questions.
Coach, you mentioned the first half there. Y'all ended up shooting just shy of 57% from the field in a half. Just what allowed y'all to find a rhythm there early?
I think mostly we just stopped throwing the ball to the other team. It's difficult to score when you don't do that. When you do that, I mean. We ended up with 10 turnovers, which is a lot for us. I don't know what that was percentage-wise. I don't have those numbers in front of me. But, when we throw the ball to our team, we've got a lot of capable scorers. We got to make sure we continue to do that, make sure that we throw the ball from guys in the white to the guys in the white. I thought we were a little sloppy with it. We all got a little sticky in the first half. Once we got past kind of the opening nerves that happen in conference tournament games, I thought we settled in and played pretty sound basketball. Some of that credit goes to Gardner-Webb. They're switching defenses, played a lot of zone. We weren't exactly sure what to expect because they played really 2 games against us this season completely different, both games. And then if you watched their game 2 nights ago, they played completely different in that game than they did in the other 2 against us. So we didn't know exactly what to expect, other than probably a lot of different looks. And it stymied us for a while, but we figured it out.
You talked about your bench play earlier. You got to double them up compared to their bench. How important is it having a kid like Terry coming up, a senior?
Yeah, I mean, Terry was terrific. He was as good defensively and on the glass as he was offensively. He finished some baskets for us around the rim, made a 3, and man, if he could make a couple free throws, we'd really been onto something.
So, Boda only played 14 minutes. He's an absolute, as you're aware, monster on the glass. But you guys still got 16 up his rebounds. So I want to talk a little bit about what we saw on the glass tonight, because you were down Boda for most of this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of our MO. We really struggled to rebound the ball in the first third of the season when we were down some bodies due to injury. I mean, a couple of our guys that get a lot of those rebounds, and Simon and Terry weren't playing. Boda was playing a lot more minutes in that time. I think we've really settled into an identity of a team that goes and gets it off the offensive glass when we don't finish plays, and that's when it comes to having efficient offense, being able to go get second opportunities, is critically important to us. We scored at something like 1.38 points a possession on possessions that start on offensive rebounds, which for those of you that don't know, that's a really high number. So obviously we value those possessions because they end up turning into points more often times than not for us.
Terry, you had to work through a lot over the summer, and you're kind of starting to get back into rotation now. Had a big game a couple of weeks ago, big game today. What's been different for you? How have you kind of come to your own this year?
I mean, I feel like it's been the same. We just work hard every day and keep putting the work in as a unit, and we just finally go together.
I think with a guy like Terry, you get dropped in when he missed almost 4 months with a knee surgery, and then you get dropped into a team that's already kind of got roles to find. And you're trying, he wasn't playing his best. He wasn't in shape. He was dealing with a little bit of post-surgical pain. We talked a lot about the new normal. I have a guy that's had a lot of knee surgeries too, and I told him that there's just a new normal. All that stuff coming together makes it so hard to find your way in the middle of the season. It's hard enough when it happens outside the season. But I got to tell you, his resiliency this season to find his way. He could have easily quit. He could have easily let down. He could have easily let somebody else just take those minutes because we had other capable bodies, but he continued to fight. And I think that he's really in a lot of ways the heart and soul of our team because of his willingness and ability to just continue to fight, even when things were really not going well at all for him.
Keza, you had a season high day in 25 points. Just what were you seeing out there? What was working for you to be so effective on the offensive end?
Just preparation for the game, watching film, and pretty much preparation. I know what I was walking into, and I take what the defense gave me.
Coach, we talked a couple weeks ago about being patient, letting your guys work through stuff. Gardner-Webb hit you a couple of times, and you still kind of stayed the course. You have a very steady hand out there to help you through that. But what was that process like?
I think, when you're a coach and you have two really capable point guards like we do, and Kessler struggled taking care of the ball a little bit early this season. He's just been tremendous down the stretch, really take care of the basketball, and Bobby has been just kind of his sidekick in that regard. But I think you just said it, when you've got two really steady hands out there that don't turn the basketball over and willing to go make the right play for others, when you get punched, it's easy to respond.
I was gonna say, this is for anybody that wants to answer it. Obviously, you guys have a target on your back. Do you use that for motivation? How do you guys handle? Everybody's gonna give you their best shot.
You guys want that one? We've had a target all season. It's something we've talked about. It's a year ago. Terry wasn't with us, but he was in a little similar situation at Lamar, where they were kind of poor the season before, and they stuck up on some people. We did the same thing last season. We ended up winning 27 games, but we weren't anybody's biggest game. We won a lot of games where, we were the underdog on paper coming in. And this space is entirely different to navigate. You've got to be ready every night. And I think, we dropped a couple games this season. We didn't. We also had some other people play us closer than they probably should have. And I think the lessons we've learned along the way have prepared us for these moments, because we're absolutely going to get everybody shot. But the beautiful thing is, that's maybe a little bit new for some of the people in the conference tournament. We've been dealing with that for 30 some odd games, where it's everybody's playing to the best of their ability the night we see them.
To that point, you guys played an MTE this year, a 3-game event. Didn't win opening night. Did you guys use that tonight to kind of use that as an experience for you guys?
I love the 3-game MTEs precisely for that reason. We got punched in the face. Now again, Terry didn't play. Simon didn't play. Terry didn't play. Simon didn't play. Bobby barely played. We were really beat up at that point, and we got punched in the face by Missouri State in a really physical game. That it was somewhere between football and basketball that night. But they just totally bumped us out, and we found out that night like it was going to be. It's a little different deal right now. And the beautiful thing about that is the MTE is you kind of get a dry run, because we got punched in the face. Here, you go home when that happens. There, we got to regroup. We found out a lot about ourselves. We played absolutely horrific basketball all 3 days, and we gutted out 2 wins. And I think those experiences served us really well. And that's why you go to those early team events. I know a lot of the high major coaches have complained about the 3-game MTEs. I think for mid-major teams that are and specifically ones that play in 1 mid leagues, I think it's a fantastic experience to go out there and have to prepare 3 times in a row and understand what your body feels like as a player. Understand that you have no time to either celebrate or pout if things don't go your way. You got to regroup, and you got to be ready to play the next night. So hopefully those experiences will serve us as we move through this tournament.
Coach, guys, thank you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.